Aloha everybody and shalom, almost Shabbat shalom. We're here for the first quarter activation. What does that mean? We're at the first quarter moon right now. Last week was the new moon, and so what it really means, which actually has nothing to do with the moon, is that last week we were starting a new beginning, starting a new cycle, and this week, starting today, we are just 1/4 into the process. And everything is one. So the moon is just reflecting something that's going on within all things, including each one of us. So when we look at the moon, the shape that it's in will reflect to us something about what's going on with our current process. Okay, so these videos, for those of you who are new, welcome. These videos don't actually have anything to do with the moon, other than the fact that we use it as a measurement of time. It's a super easy way for us all around the world to unite 4 times a month to receive these messages together. And I love that you all are already starting to mention in the comments where you're tuning in from. It's awesome. I'm tuning in from, as usual, the lovely Sedona, Arizona. And I hope you all had an amazing couple of eclipses recently. Wow, it's been super powerful, and I've been staying super busy with one-on-one readings, and they have been increasingly more profound and just so exciting. There's so much growth, and it's just showing me that we are all growing so much right now. So thank you. Thank you for doing the work, and thank you for coming to this portal. For those of you who are new, again, these videos are something that's been going on for over 4 years now, and they're very consistent. We meet every week according to the 4 cycles of the moon. So if you enjoy this message today, please come back again next week. And while we're live, if y'all want to go ahead and share this with your friends, your family, anybody you think could use a positive message right now or some guidance, and maybe you have a favorite group on Facebook you want to share this with while we're live, to get as many people in the portal live as possible. And of course, it will be recorded and it will be shared onto YouTube and Instagram, Rebecca Magic. So if you have a friend who doesn't have Facebook, you can share it there in the end. Today is really exciting because I have out not only my usual tarot cards and my Hebrew cards, I also have the Brotherhood of Light Egyptian deck. They're always on my altar, and today they screamed out to join the party. So I've got them here. They look like this. And I have only the major arcanum out. So I've got the major arcanum of these, the whole deck of the Rider-Waite with my corrections written onto them, of course. And then the Hebrew cards. So it's time to play. First quarter, we're 1 week into our process. Let's get some clarity. Thank you, archetypes, faces of the one, in advance for bringing us this clear message so that we can use our energies most wisely in service of not just the self, but the one larger self of which we're all part. So grateful to connect with you all. So I'm giving thanks in advance for the archetypes, and they exist within each one of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. We won. Thank we won. So we usually start with the challenge and gift. And just to explain for those of you who are new or for those of you who want to understand more deeply, the challenge and gift, what it does is reflects to us the part of the initiation process we are currently in. It shows us exactly where we are at as far as the theme going on with our path right now. What is the main lesson that we're learning in this moment for this week, at least, the one that we can focus on. And remember, all cards have truth in them. They're all within you, and they're all present in every moment because they represent the energies and frequencies that are the building blocks of all of reality. So yes, we can pull any card and extract a message. However, because of the laws of the universe and the laws of energy, we have to know that we are picking the one that is going to be the priority focus. And this knowing is based on the knowing of the intelligent design of the universe. It's reflected in the law of conservation of energy. The universe does the most work with the least amount of effort. And we should aim to behave that way as well, to align ourselves with that graceful process that is reflected in all of nature and the cosmos. Okay, so beginning with the current challenge. We pull that. And then we'll pick up the other deck. And we will pull a card for the future. This card is going to show us where this challenge is taking us, why we're going through this current challenge. What skill are we developing? What vision can we hold? What symbols can we envision in our mind's eye to help encourage this process? And then I'm taking out my Hebrew cards. And I'm going to pull the ally for the week, and that's going to be our priority strength, the one who is at the forefront of our minds, guiding us, saying, hey, tap into me and I'll help you get through this the most smoothly it can possibly be done. Okay, beginning with the challenge of the week. Death, known in ancient Egypt as the Reaper. This image may be new to you guys or to some of you because it's not from the usual deck that I pull from. But if you've taken my video course on the Major Arcanum, then this looks very familiar. And I really love the art on this version of Arcanum 13. It's so beautiful. In particular, I love the rainbow because it represents, in occult symbolism, the promise of eternal life. The promise that was written into the origins of our creation. The rise written within the fall. The beginning is in the end, and the end is implicit in the beginning. So this is our current challenge. And death is all about transformation. And if you see, he's got the scythe upside down. Looks like he's in a boat. Looks like he's rowing, but there's actually no boat there. It's kind of hidden. And the Hebrew letter associated, and it's actually here at the bottom, the Hebrew letter associated with this card is the mem, which represents water. So the water is actually hidden into this piece. So just imagine like he's rowing a boat, right? That's why the scythe is upside down. And he's reaping the land, the harvest of the land. And you can see the maimed body parts, but they're not bloody and scary or anything, but it's symbolizing something. It's saying that how can we make the most of all of our previous lifetimes, or even just the beginning of this lifetime and all the experiences that we've had thus far? How can we take all of those experiences and the lessons that were in them, most importantly, and become the greatest version of ourselves that we could possibly be right here, right now? And this card, Death, aka the Reaper, is all about allowing the transformation. Because remember, change is the only constant in life. It's already happening, baby. It's happening. Every moment, within and without. Constant change. Seasons, cycles. Life is one great spiraling cycle, never ending. And so really what it's about at the deepest level is tapping into that ability to surrender, to die, to be reborn again. And the forces of nature, the forces of the universe will carry you. You don't have to do anything, yet in your inaction, there's so much activity. But it's not your ego that has to do anything. It's not your thinking mind that has to do anything. That actually needs to turn off so that nature can do for you what you keep trying to do on your own. Stop. Allow, surrender, and be carried. So really, this is all about opening up to change. Allowing what wants to change. Identifying where the resistance is to the changes that are wanting to take place through you so badly. So with this being the challenge of the week, it would be really wise to pause, tune in, observe your thoughts. In what ways is your mind wanting to change? And don't judge. First, don't judge, don't try to refine, just let it naturally flow and watch your thoughts. Where are they wanting to go? Allow them to go there. When you put up a judgment right away, you just end up in a space of self-denial. You stop the truth from showing itself. So then you never get to the part where you're able to refine that truth or refine that process. You have to first let it be natural, let it be authentic. Where does your mind want to go? Where's your mind wanting to change? What kind of change of mind are you resisting right now? What kind of thought programs are shifting right now? Be honest. And allow that unfolding to reflect back to you something much deeper. A voice inside that's telling you, I want to move in this direction right now. And even if your ego says, well, that's a bad direction, well, at least you're being honest with yourself. I'm wanting to go in this direction. And then you don't have to go in that direction if you ultimately decide it's not a positive direction. But you have to at least be honest with yourself that you have a desire to go in that direction. So then at least you have that material to reflect on. Why am I wanting to go that way? Like, for example, let's say you're like, I want to do these things that are really bad for me. I want to do these drugs or, do this negative habit. Instead of just saying, no, we can't do that. Just say, well, why? I know I shouldn't do that, so, I'm not going to go as far as to take action upon it. But when I'm honest with myself, I feel like I want to do that. What in me has that desire? Why is there a part of me that desires to do those things? And how can I allow that to teach me about who I am and where I'm at in my process? So first, just allow it. Be honest with the shift that's going on within you, within your mind, within your emotions. Be honest. And then from there, you can refine. Okay? Look at the things around you right now that are changing. The change of season. Maybe change of relationships, change of friendships, change of where you are investing your energy. So maybe you are investing more of your energy into this area, and now you're noticing that even without your conscious awareness, you've begun shifting your energy to more into this place. Maybe you were writing a whole lot. Maybe you've recently stopped writing. Look at that. What does that recent shift reflect? Especially when it's something that hasn't been a conscious effort or a conscious choice. Notice the ways in which your mind and your body have started doing different things, forming different patterns. And through that examination, all right, of the contrast, I was here, now I'm there, notice the underlying pattern. What in me has shifted to go from this to that? And is that shift for my highest good? Well, if it already took place, of course it is, because nothing's outside of divine order. But you want to ask yourself, now that you're becoming aware of the pattern, is this something that I should just learn from and redirect? Or is this something that I should learn from and support to keep going in that direction? Okay, so what I'm saying is notice the shifts that have already begun taking place and review them and say, is this recent shift that I've, this recent turn of events that I've taken, this change in path that I've taken, Is it for my highest good? Is it going to transform me in a way that's going to take me to the next level of being who I came here to be? Is it taking me to a place where I can be more selfless, embody more of the light of the virtues, be who I came here to be? Am I going to shine more thanks to these recent shifts that have happened? And if not, okay, that's fine. Learn from that and then apply that lesson and consciously create a change, consciously create a shift. Or you might go, I'm noticing the changes that I've been making recently without even really being aware of it, and they're really good for me. And now through conscious application of my awareness, I'm going to choose, okay, consciously, willfully, I'm going to affirm my choice to continue moving in that direction of change. So it's not just about initiating change, it's about allowing it, noticing where it's already happening, and either choosing to consciously participate and support those shifts, or initiate certain shifts within yourself, within your mind, within your emotions, with your words, to shift those things that you have control over, to then direct the changes that are happening outside of you. So it's all about how you are subject to the changes that are happening in nature. You are subject to the changes that are happening in the cycles and seasons of the universe. And it's about reviewing how you want to participate, because either way we have to participate. We're participants whether we're conscious of it or not. We're participants whether we're willfully choosing to shift or resisting it. The only difference is there's either more suffering because of the resistance or there's more blessing because of the awareness and the allowance. So you're a participant in this whole thing, whether you like it or not. So the challenge this week reminds us of that and says, how can you release the resistance to the changes that are inevitable, that have to take place? How can you release the resistance? And notice how nature and the cosmos are reflecting the cycles that are turning within you. And go, I recognize that pattern. This is what has to happen. However, I can manage the details of that process. For example, I can see how the elementals are shifting with the seasons and with the stars. And so I'm aware of the patterns and the archetypal wisdom that is relative to this particular season or this particular astrological cycle, for example, that we're in. And now, because of my awareness of the current pattern or current incoming codes, I'm going to choose how I want to work with them, how I want to use them, by connecting them to where I'm at on my path right now. Okay, so it's all about, the challenge this week is all about pausing, asking, where am I at right now? Okay, I see where I'm at. Where is the universe at right now? Which it should be a reflection, okay? Whatever season you're experiencing, it's a reflection of what's within. So I'm aligning that process. I'm aligning where I'm at with what's going on in the world, in the stars, and I'm going to make sure that there's harmony there, simply by becoming aware of it and affirming the connection that is, of course, there, as within, so without, as above, so below. So I'm just remembering that what's happening in here is a reflection of what's happening out there, and vice versa. And then I can take the wheel and I can release resistance to what's already changing and shifting, but simply guide the change in the direction I want it to go. Okay, working together with the one, with all of creation, rather than resisting it, finding the commonality, finding the change that's happening to everyone and inside everything, and then just choosing how I'm going to allow that to affect me. Okay, so this is the challenge of the week, is death. How are you releasing resistance to the inevitable changes? How are you opening up to the inevitable changes and choosing how to direct them in your life? Rather than just feeling like you have no control and just, you don't want to just surrender, I guess what's going to happen is what's going to happen. Yeah, to a degree, there are certain energies, certain operative forces behind the scenes that you can't change. However, You can choose how you wish to receive them and how you wish to respond, which will direct those energies in this way or that. So how are you letting go of resistance and opening up to the changes? How are you allowing that which just does not serve any longer to fall away, to make space for those shifts that need to happen to support the next best version of your highest self? Don't become so comfortable with who you've become, even though it's really great, you've been doing good work and you're amazing. Got to keep going. You got to keep it moving. There's more. And it's like supply and demand. The more you shift and grow and evolve and ascend, the more light you embody and activate within yourself, the more the next initiation just lines up, lines up, lines up. Once you achieve success with a certain initiation, once you reach that level of fulfillment and completion, simultaneously the next journey begins. Because remember, in the end is the beginning, and in the beginning is the end. You know this. We just said this when we started the video. The beginning is implicit in the end. The end is implicit in the beginning. Death is rebirth. One doesn't go without the other. The Hermetic law, the opposite is always hidden within. Universal truth. This is always true in all dimensions. And so know that although you've been doing a great job and you've transformed so much and you're just getting comfortable with this new level of activation and power and light and love, you're ready for the next level now. There's no stopping. It's not like, oh, we end and we get to pause here and like have a break. No. If there's a part of you that feels the need to take some sort of vacation or break during this eternal evolutionary process, that should tell you something. That should tell you that you're not having fun. That should tell you that you're not fully accessing the understanding of just what's going on here. You shouldn't need to take a vacation from your life. Your life is a vacation. You're not from here. Your body is, but you're not. Your light, your spirit, it's not from here. This is vacation. Isn't that crazy? We're like, Earth is my vacation. This place crazy. This place full of trauma and drama and pain and suffering. Yeah, but remember, where we come from, we are unaffected by all those things. We came here knowing what we signed up for. We came here knowing that the pain is temporary. We came here knowing that the light, the potential for the creation of light, the multiplication of light, that was the goal in coming here. And it makes all that other stuff worth it. This is the vacation. Earth. Because we're going back home every time we're done with this vacation. And so we're here to bring the light of where we come from to this place. And it makes this whole experience worth it. Okay, so again, if you feel the need to pause at the end of every chapter, if you feel the need, like, oh man, that was a long journey and I'm feeling fulfilled, like I completed something here, but now I need a rest. Something's not quite right. You see, because you have to come to a point on this path as an initiate. You have to come to this point of knowing fully with all of your being that it's not you doing the work. It's not this body. It's not Rebecca. Because this body is temporary. So if your body is tired or ascension symptoms, if you're being dragged down, you have terrible headaches, you need a rest for a week after your initiations, that's showing that you're not accessing your fullest power. Because your fullest power is beyond this body and beyond these senses. Your power is not your power, it's your power. Parentheses, why in the parentheses, O-U-R, our power. It's our shared power as the one. We will never be as strong as the power of the one because that one contains all. So only when we can be humble and be receptive, which is our feminine, only when you're tapped into your feminine receptive polarity, can you open up to the power of the all-powerful source, which then comes in you and through you and carries you with grace, with ease. And maybe there's some suffering along the way, but the effects are not experienced in a way that they're defeating. Even the suffering and the pain makes you stronger when you are in that place of humility and when you are in that place of faith and trust and connection to the divine and to source, which is all powerful. And at that point, you don't feel sick. Even if you're going through some pain, you're carrying it with grace. Does this sound familiar? The story of Jesus? The story of Abraham? Muhammad? Buddha? Every culture will tell you about this truth, which is your truth, our truth, one truth forever. Even the suffering is full of grace. Especially the suffering is full of grace because the contrast of the pain and the faith simultaneously creates such splendor, such awe-inspiring beauty and radiance that it could light up the whole world. And so again, if you're coming to this point where you're going through a transformation and you feel like, oh no, not again. I need a rest first. Please reflect on that and remember this activation. And remember the truth that you shouldn't feel that way. You should feel always at the ready for the next initiation. And so something you can do to get to that space, because I hear a lot of you saying, I'm always tired. I do need a break in between. It's too much. It's too much. Let me tell you, let them, archetypes, the archetypes that are in us, tell us that the way that you can get from this place of exhaustion to this place of always being at the ready for the next initiation is by remembering, again, it's not your work. If you are humble and open up to the all-powerful source of creation and maintain that connection to the divine, it will carry you. Remember, you don't need to try so hard. You don't need to try so hard. And remember, we're not here to relax. We didn't come here for it to be easy. We came here to always be ready. And we must know right here, right now, before moving ahead, we must lock in the knowing that it only gets easier as we get stronger. The only way to build our strength is by cultivating that readiness, is by trusting that through the challenge, I get stronger. Okay, there was like this old story about a man who would carry this sheep over a fence every day. I don't remember all the details of the story, but he would carry the sheep over the fence every day, and the sheep was the same weight every day. The sheep wasn't changing, but at first the sheep was so heavy. But every day lifting the sheep was his exercise, and so he got stronger and stronger, and it became easier. So it was challenging every day, but it became easier for him because he got stronger with each experience. And this is the same concept. So when you're feeling exhausted after completing a mission or after doing a healing on yourself or another, remember that the next opportunity is going to come knocking right away, just when you sit down, just when you get in that bath, just when you put on your essential oil to relax, right when you light that incense, boom, you get a call, challenge. Knock, knock, knock. Challenge knocking on your door. Somebody needs you. Something is calling for your help and support. And in that moment, your mind might go, oh God, not again. Oh my God, please. I'm not ready. I need a rest. And that's when you want to remember this message. And that's when you want to trigger your higher awareness to come in and talk to that lower part of yourself, that lower nature part of yourself, your ego that says, I need a break. That's when the higher self comes in and says, get up. No, you got this. When you release that frustration or that resistance to taking on this next mission, you're going to get stronger. Because remember, when you're in your darkest places and someone needs you, all of a sudden you're lit. That's the beauty of the way that we're designed and the way the universe is designed. So don't forget that. Remember that in the moment where you feel exhausted and, oh my God, I really don't want to help this person. Oh my God, I really don't want to do this next mission. I just finished the last mission. My feet are exhausted. I got to get off my feet. If in that moment you can remember this message and say, no, relax, relax. Remember, it's not you anyway doing the work. How dare you even think it was all you? Oh my God, you're so vain, right? And that's when you want to remind yourself that, boo, it's easy. It's not you doing it anyway. Did you forget? Open up to Source and let Source do it through you. Then it's effortless. And then you have no excuse. And you remind yourself that you're only going to get stronger when you push past that point. In fact, looking at it from another angle, when you just jump into the next mission and you help somebody else, there is nobody else. There's only one. You're directly helping yourself. So in fact, if you look beyond this illusory world of appearances to what's actually happening underneath it all, you will see that you're directly feeding yourself energy. You're directly replenishing yourself when you go on to the next mission, because you think you need to take a week vacation in Hawaii. You think you need to go to some island to disconnect from everybody, but everybody's only you. You think you need to take a 5-hour-long bath, but really what you need to do is remember. Remember who you are and why you came here. And open up to that next mission. Because that's how you're going to more sustainably replenish yourself in all dimensions. That bath, honey, is only going to replenish you physically. And maybe, mentally and emotionally, if you know how to do magic, if you know how to use the water element to clear your mind, clear emotions, cellular clearing, things like that. However, nothing, no bath, no vacation is going to fill you up and recharge your battery like the next mission. So if you're a healer or you're somebody who a lot of people turn to for help, this especially applies to you this week. Remember that when you help another, you help yourself. There is no separation. There is only one. You don't need a break. You need that next mission. Oh, the irony, right? We think we're exhausted and we just can't do it. But it's not us who's ever done it. So surrender and allow the Creator to do it. And just be the vessel. Be carried. And be replenished, be recharged through service. Okay, so that's the challenge of the week. Whoa. And why is this happening? A glimpse into the future? Something to hold in our mind's eye to give us even more inspiration and motivation to stay lit on this mission. 10 of Cups. Cups is the heart, the suit of the heart, the suit of emotions, feelings. 10s are endings and new beginnings. Okay, so it's perfect. We got death and we have endings and new beginnings. Perfect, because death and rebirth, endings and beginnings. There's always connection, and that's what we have to find. When we pull multiple cards, we have to find the connecting factors. That's how we do the reading. So the 10 of Cups is all about absolute fulfillment. Okay, there's a man and woman here and 2 children. It's not speaking to literally a man and a woman. It's speaking to the masculine and feminine forces within, and it's personifying them so that you can make sense of it, identify these forces. It's talking to your inner masculine and feminine, your logic and intuition. So ultimately what this picture is showing us here is an image of what fulfillment of the heart looks like when our polarities are in harmony. When our logic and intuition are married in a way that they share one voice, and that voice carries us to fulfillment, to our heart's fulfillment. That's what this card is representing. So we're getting to this place, and I just want to show you guys We pulled from 2 different decks. Check it out. What do you see? Rainbows on each. Double rainbow all the way across the sky. Wow, that's a full rainbow. Okay, so 2 rainbows, 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 which is the promise of rebirth and eternal life. And the main message behind that is, remember, you're eternal. Don't take this all so seriously. But do remember why you came here, why you come back and again and again. Okay, so going back to this, we want to hold a vision of our heart's fulfillment. We want to see our parts working in harmony. We want to see cooperation between intuition and logic. We want to affirm that when I'm meant to be in my active element, I'm going to be that for the highest good of the one. And when I'm meant to be in my receptive element, I'm also going to be that for the highest good of the one. And I'm going to effortlessly embody receptivity and activity. I'm going to effortlessly embody my masculinity and my femininity, my intuition and my logic. I'm going to effortlessly allow them to guide me each step of the way. Whomever needs to take the lead is beyond my choosing. It's the choosing of the one. And through my allowing and the death of my ego and my opening up to the truly all-powerful source beyond my small self, what's going to happen is my polarities are going to have a reset and they're going to be united. Hieros Gamos, alchemical marriage within. So as I open up to that source that is perfect, that is a reflection of the divine union of the forces of polarity, that's going to be mirrored within me effortlessly. I'm not going to try to do it myself. I'm simply going to become a mirror of that source, of that light, of that power. I'm just going to become a vessel for it to fill me up, as above, so below. And so in my humility and in my receptivity, I open up to this power, it comes in, and I become a reflection of that. It's about to be 11:11 in this moment. Reflection. 1 is like 1. 1 is like 1. There it is, 11:11. 10, 11, 11. And so then, in that reflection, I trust that moving forward, when the masculine needs to take lead and when I need to act and when I need to be progressive, that's going to happen. And I also trust that when the feminine needs to lead, and when I need to be more receptive and listen and pause, that's also going to happen effortlessly. When I need to be in my self-conscious mind, I will be there. And when I need to occupy my subconscious mind, I will be there. And I don't need to choose with my rational thinking which one I'll need to be, because I'm doing the work from a much bigger perspective. I'm reflecting the light of the one who's going to reflect from within me what the next step is, each step of the way. Okay, so just putting this on your altar would be amazing if you have the card, or you can Google 10 of Cups. You can make it your phone background. You could print it out, put it on your mirror when you so you can see every time you brush your teeth this week. But we're shifting right now. We're changing right now. The parts of us are dying right now that need to change so that we can move more gracefully toward fulfillment. So those things that you're holding on to, those parts of yourself you're holding on to that actually need to fall away, that need to be transformed right now, you're thinking on one level, no, I don't want to change. No, I don't want to let go. No, I'm not ready. But instead, what you really should be thinking is, oh, I'm ready. Oh, I'm more than ready. I'm going to rise above that illusion, and I'm going to make it happen even faster. I'm going to support this process because I know that ironically, those parts that I'm holding on to are the parts that need to shift in order to move in the direction of my truest desires. I won't be as fulfilled if I hold on to those parts. The degree to which I allow the transformation is the degree to which I will be fulfilled. In heart and in spirit, in mind and in body. I'm going to say that again. Write it down. The degree to which I allow the transformation is the degree to which I will experience fulfillment. This is a universal truth. You can use this mantra in any moment, in any time, in any place, and it will be helpful because it's something that will always be helpful when you think about this reality being one where the only constant is change. Again, the degree to which I allow the transformation, allow being the key word, is the degree to which I will achieve and experience fulfillment. And the ally of the week is the Tav. Now, I knew this one was coming up. The Tav is the end. It's the final letter of the Hebrew alphabet. But remember, the end is in the beginning and the beginning is in the end. So it's just like, so funny. Look at this. 13, death and rebirth. Ending, which also contains the beginning. 10, which represents ending and beginning. 9 is end. 10 is begin again. 1 through 9, 10 begin again. 1 through 9, 10 begin again. So all these cards are implying endings and new beginnings. So if this is the card of the week, which tarot card is the Tav connected to? Well, I'm glad you asked. The Tav is connected to both the Fool archetype as well as the Materialist. And the Materialist is card 22, which is not in most modern decks. But it is, however, in this deck that screamed out to join the party today for a reason, obviously. In fact, I just spoke about card 22 with a friend right before this reading. A friend who's present right now. Shout out. And so I'll show you guys what it looks like since I happen to have them out today. It never happens. This is card 22. It's the Materialist. And hey, doesn't it kind of look like the Fool? Whereas the Fool is like the Ein Sof, or in Kabbalistic terms, or the limitless light, or the connection to source. The Tav, or which is, hey, right there, see? I'm just going to show you guys side by side. The Tav is connected to the never-ending rematerialization we go through in order to connect to that Fool energy, that divine connection even more deeply. It's the card that reminds us we can do this as many times as we need to deepen our connection, because it's not about the body and it's not about the mistakes and the downfalls. It's about the rise again. So also I want to point out that 22 reduces to a 4. So it's connected to 2 other cards in the deck, which create a sequence within the sequence of the tarot. The first 4 is the Emperor, aka the Sovereign. The second 4 is this one, Death, because 13 reduces to a 4. And then 22 reduces to a 4. So you have 4, 13, 22. These are 3 that are connected. 13 and 22 are the next stages of the original keynote, which is 4. So first you have the Emperor, the 4, the form, the original form or structure. Then you have 13, the change of that structure. And then you have 22, the continuation and the eternity of that change. This has been the theme of the entire reading. The never-ending rebirth, the never-ending change, the eternal nature of consciousness, the rise within the fall, the promise of eternal life. And so this being our guide right now, the Tav, it's simply reminding us that the end is in the beginning is in the end. So remember the challenge this week, when you feel like I just can't do it anymore, I'm coming to an end. Oh, but it's only the beginning. And then remember the message that came through today. The more you feel resistance to beginning again, the more you feel resistance to ending, and the more resistance you feel toward beginning again, that's where you got to look deeper, look more closely. What is your resistance to the change? And what is your resistance to the change again? Don't just release your resistance to this current change. Release your resistance to change in general, to the idea and the force of change, because it's the only thing that's constant. So this ally Tav is reminding us that the more you embrace change, and the more you release your fears around change, and the more you release your fears of messing up, making mistakes, having to do it again, the more you'll be successful, and the more you'll gracefully be carried by the forces of nature and the universe, by the elements of which you are made of. So whatever fears you have, whatever resistance you have around change, if you're afraid of making mistakes, it would be really good for you this week, as you're so supported, particularly right now, to do this work. This week, it would be wise to look at all that. Start to transform those fears, because the fears aren't real anyway. They have no power. What does have power is the alchemy that you'll perform in shifting them from fear to light, to love, to truth. So examine your fears and your resistance to change. Ask why you're afraid of mistakes. And then the remedy would look something like this. Hey, it's okay to make mistakes. In fact, it's inevitable. So you might as well get over yourself, because you're wasting all your energy on being afraid of the mistakes that you actually haven't even made yet. And yes, they're an inevitable part of the path, but you can't waste your time focusing on the mistakes. Remember the Fool card, you guys. He looks like the Fool, right? So remember, on the Fool card, there's mountains ahead of him, treacherous mountains. He's not looking at them. Otherwise, he'll be paralyzed in fear. He'll never take the first step. Just like here, there's a crocodile, and he's blind. Check it out. He's got, see how his eye is all white? He's blind. He doesn't even see the dangers ahead. Blind faith. And so he can be walking into his death or total transformation. Doesn't matter. They're one. Death is transformation. So don't be paralyzed by fear. There are always going to be mistakes, but you will always have a chance to try again. And that's what 22, or the Tav, tells us. 22 reduces to 4, a new form. A new form, a vessel for you to enter, to try again, try again. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So not only should you not be afraid of mistakes, you should just simply accept them as a part of the path and not give them too much of your focus. Give all parts of the path your focus. Accept your mistakes and accept every part of the process. Accept all the parts of the process, and don't lose yourself worrying too much or being too concerned with any one part of the story. This is why the tarot is helpful not only to do readings like this, but to use as a whole and holy method of integration and guidance. It's not just for you to do divination and pull 1 or 2 cards here and there. It's a story, it's a sequence that you can tap into at any point, starting with the Fool. And just reading that story starts to get your wheels spinning in the right direction, starts to get your mind moving in the right direction, starts to align your emotions in the right process. It starts to align all of your elemental qualities with nature and the stars. So if you didn't catch my video a couple weeks ago on the ancient way of using the tarot, please reach out and ask me how you can get it. And it teaches you how to use the tarot in that way, beyond divination. Okay, so really this week is all about releasing the fears you have around change. releasing your fear of falling, of mistakes, of forgetting. The remembering and the rise is inevitable. Know that whatever fears you have as far as making mistakes or falling or all this, those are the exact things that are limiting you and holding you back from becoming the very thing you want to become, from fulfilling all of your heart's desires. Those fears are only markers along the way. Those fears are treasures that hold the key to your fulfillment. Don't be afraid of the end, because it's also the beginning. And the Tav really reminds you of that, because the Tav, remember, is not just the letter, the Hebrew letter that is associated with the materialist. It's also the letter for the fool. Remember, the Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, is connected to the magician, not the fool. Not the fool. This is a manipulation. And in a lot of modern decks, a lot of modern tarot, we are taught that the Aleph is connected to the fool. This is a manipulation. It then throws off the entire sequence and confuses you and puts you on a more limited timeline. You want to access the timeless time circle. You know what I'm saying? And in order to do that, you need to understand that the magician is the number one that's connected to the Aleph, which has a numerical value of 1. The fool is connected to the last letter of the Hebrew alphabet, and it reflects the Hermetic axiom that the first is in the last and the last is in the first. Doesn't that make so much more sense? And if this is resonating with you, please reach out to me. This is why I'm so passionate about tarot, because it's important to understand the truth about the tarot so that you can use it in profound ways beyond doing a little reading about whether or not my boyfriend or girlfriend will leave me. It's so much more than that. It's everything. Okay, so this being the ally just says, hey, remember, the end is in the beginning is in the end. They are one. Keep going. It's never ending. Right when you're feeling, oh God, I can't bear to let go or end this relationship or this project or this thing. That's when you got to know, oh my God, I'm resisting what needs to happen to initiate the next cycle for my highest good, for my fulfillment, and for the fulfillment of the one. And also when you come to new beginnings, resisting the new beginnings, same thing. Oh my God, I'm resisting the very thing that's going to bring me that fulfillment. So the Tav just reminds you to pay attention to how you are handling and how you're responding to beginnings and endings. Because the way that you respond to one beginning, the way that you respond to one ending says a lot, reveals a lot about the way that you're responding to every beginning and every ending, right? The way you do one thing shows you how you do everything. And remember this, every moment holds an eternity. When you're in the present moment, that's an eternal consciousness that you're holding if you're truly present. So technically, within every moment is a beginning and an end. So the way that you treat one ending or one beginning is not just reflecting how you treat beginnings and endings, it's reflecting how you are responding to life. Each moment, because every moment is beginning and ending. So use your more obvious endings and beginnings with relationships, with projects, with work, with your initiations on your path. Use those obvious beginnings and endings to insert a consciousness that is going to be locked in so that it is expressed through you, so that you can meet each moment from that place of trust, of openness, of surrender to the changes that need to take place. And change is always happening. Again, use the parts of your path that are so obviously endings and beginnings to insert this new program. Become aware in that moment. Okay, so say you're ending a relationship or something. Instead of becoming so distraught and lost in your emotional process and material entanglement, remember this message and go, oh, it's actually not about the faces and the places and the names and the mundane details. It's about the opportunity that's being offered to me through this experience to shift my awareness in a way that's going to affect all of creation for all of eternity. Ah, okay. Now I'm getting it. So now I'm going to rise above the material details of the situation, remember my purpose, and I'm going to treat this part of the process so delicately, staying present and aware that everything I do right now, the way that I respond to this part of the process, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, the way that I operate in response to this part of the process is going to shift me in a way that's going to affect every moment moving forward. So I'm going to do this with grace, and I'm going to do this carefully, and I'm going to do this with remembrance to the all-powerful source, knowing that it's not me doing anything. And I'm going to allow nature and the universe to carry me through this process, to align my frequency in all dimensions, to operate in a way that's going to serve the highest good, not just right now, but in the moments and in the days, in the years and in the lifetimes to come. Endings and beginnings. As you identify the more obvious endings and beginnings on your path this week, with jobs, with relationships, with your spiritual process, with your psychological process, they are one, psyche is spirit. As you identify those endings and beginnings, remember, they're just a ritual for you to affect your entire life, for you to affect not just the way you respond to all endings and beginnings, but the way that you respond to each moment, because each moment is an ending and a beginning again. Every life is a beginning that leads to an end and then a beginning again. So really move with presence this week and remember this message. Thank you so much for opening up this portal with me, you guys. I love you. I'm so grateful to be here at this time and place in space with y'all. If you have any groups that you want to share this with, a family, a friend, somebody you think could benefit from the message that came through our shared portal today, please go ahead and share it. It's going to be on YouTube and Instagram now, Rebecca Magic, so you could share it there if someone's not on Facebook. And I want to say a big thank you to those of you who've ordered my book. These past couple weeks have been crazy. I am totally sold out. I have to wait a little while now. Actually, the books are being printed and they're going to take a little bit. But I'm just so grateful that y'all have been reaching out and have been receiving my book with open heart, open mind, and it's been helping you. And your feedback has been helping me by affirming my purpose and giving me the strength to keep going, keep doing, keep writing, keep channeling, keep connecting. So thank you. I will see you all tonight in our private group called Shabbat Crew here on Facebook, and it's where we share about the current Torah story and also join live for the ancient melody recitation of the Shabbat candle lighting prayer. We do it every week, so if you want to see what that's about, you want to join in the magic, join us in Shabbat Crew. I did share a video about tonight's Torah story, and it's in the group. It's a video I made a couple years ago, so it's not particularly new, but it is potent, and you will see how the Torah always aligns with the Tarot, because they are the same. Tarot, Torah. You reconfigure the letters of Tarot, you get Torah. You get Orat, you get Rota. And these 4 configurations reveal to you Tarot, magic, Torah, law, Rota, rotate, Orat, to tell. It's a never-ending, rotating wheel story that we're telling in oral tradition. Storytelling, the law, which is the magic. When you know the law, and you know how you are the living expression of the law, you become the magician, the master, the Aleph. The one who looks like this. If you look at the magician card, he literally looks like the letter Aleph. He has one hand pointing up, one pointing down. He's the one who knows his mission and purpose, that he's channeling that all-powerful source energy and being the vessel to make something of it here on this earth. On earth as it is in heaven, as above, so below, as within, so without. Thank you so much. I love you guys. Have a blessed week ahead. Stay in the game. Do your best. You know the rest. Love you. Shalom.